In the fall of 2021, deep in the Roosevelt National Forest of Colorado, a young couple, Emily and Daniel Harris from Boulder, set out on what was supposed to be a quiet weekend hike. What they found in those woods has since become one of the most disturbing mysteries tied to Colorado's long history of disappearances. Near a dried-out creek bed, overgrown with aspen roots, they stumbled on a decaying tent, half buried under pine needles and snowmelt. Its canvas was shredded as if by animals, but inside were scattered, rotting belongings. An old-style camping stove, a rusted mess kit, and a small Sony Handycam. Just outside, next to a collapsed campfire pit, lay a red wool coat. Thick, heavy, and reeking of mold, it looked like something straight out of the 1960s, completely out of place in the 21st century wilderness. What unsettled them most was that, despite its decay, the coat felt strangely warm to the touch, as if someone had just been wearing it minutes earlier. At first they assumed it was just abandoned junk, but curiosity led them to pry open the camera. Inside was a single memory card, corroded yet intact. Back at their cabin, they loaded it onto a laptop. What they saw forced them to contact authorities, though to this day no one has been able to fully explain what was captured on those final recordings. The footage belonged to Matthew Cole, a 29-year-old aspiring filmmaker from Denver, who vanished in October 2006 while documenting a solo hike through Roosevelt National Forest. His case remains one of Colorado's most baffling unsolved disappearances. Search teams found no trace, no body, no gear, not even footprints, until this card was discovered. The recovered video begins ordinarily enough. Matthew sets up camp near a ridge at 8,700 feet elevation, October 14th, 2006. He films himself cooking a simple meal of soup on the fire. Then, movement. Out of the dark tree line, two figures emerge. A man and a woman, middle-aged, gaunt, their skin pale and tight as if dehydrated. Their clothes look decades out of place, worn, faded hiking gear straight out of the 1960s. The woman wears the red coat. At first, Matthew greets them warmly, even offering them food and water. But the longer they sit by the fire, the stranger it becomes. Their clothes look soggy and wet, though October had been dry that year. When Matthew offers them to sit closer to the warmth, they seem to recoil, almost like wild animals afraid of the flame. Their hollow eyes stare straight through him, not at him, staring as if he weren't there at all. He offers them food again. They look starving, their bones sharp beneath their skin, yet they do not touch it. Their voices are barely audible, thin and slithering, like a snake's hiss, as if they hadn't spoken in years. Matthew notices the man's wristwatch, rusted, cracked, its hands frozen at exactly 3:14 a.m. Later, investigators would note that 3:14 a.m. was the same time the tape would capture Matthew's tent being surrounded, almost as if the watch had already known what was coming. Stranger still, they have no backpacks, no tent, not even a camera to suggest they were hikers at all. The tape runs for 20 more minutes before they stand, thank him quietly, and fade back into the woods. Later that night, Matthew leaves his camcorder running inside the tent. Around 1:13 a.m., the footage jolts awake with the sound of twigs snapping outside. Matthew's breathing grows frantic. He grabs his flashlight, unzips the tent, and steps out. The camera catches only the beam of light swinging wildly across the pines.
Hello?
"Who's there?" he shouts.
Hello?
Then the lens swings down. On the ground, just feet from the tent, lies the red coat, the same one the woman wore hours earlier. Matthew lifts it briefly. It is impossibly warm to the touch despite lying out in the freezing night air. The recording captures his muttered confusion. The tape ends minutes later. We hear slow, deliberate footsteps circling the tent, a low, almost inhuman whisper, then muffled, struggling noises, and silence. That was the last known image of Matthew Cole. His body was never recovered. The tent, camera, and red coat remained hidden for 15 years until Emily and Daniel's discovery. Even more disturbing, investigators traced the style of the clothing to a couple reported missing in the exact same forest in October 1962, Harold and Ruth Wilcox of Fort Collins. They were last seen wearing nearly identical outfits. Their case, too, was never solved. What really happened in those woods? Was it starvation, hallucination, or something much darker? something that still roams Roosevelt National Forest 60 years later. Nobody knows. But the red coat remains in evidence storage in Boulder County, mold-stained, weather-worn, and radiating the same unanswered question: who, or what, was really sitting by Matthew's fire that night?